Welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name's Ashley. I'm going to be showing you 3 different meals I made this past week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you're interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. The first dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some crispy chicken tacos. So I'm just starting out with my Mexican rice, that way I can get this all cooked up and ready. I'm just starting off with 1 cup of white rice that I'm going to toast up in a little bit of oil, and then I will add in my seasonings. Next, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and half a teaspoon of cumin. I'm just going to mix that all together until the seasonings are all nice and toasted. Next, I'm going to add in my tomato sauce. I'm adding about half a can of tomato sauce. I'm just going to simmer that down with the rice. Once that is all mixed in, I'm finally going to add in my liquid. I'm just going to add 2 cups of water and 2 teaspoons of bouillon, 1 chicken, and 1 tomato. I'm just going to mix that all together and make sure all the flavors are combined. I'm going to bring that up to a simmer and then turn the heat down and throw a lid on it. I'd like to let that cook for about 20 minutes without touching it. Next, I'm going to work on my chicken. I just cut 2 chicken breasts in half so that they are a little bit thinner. Next, I'm just going to season with my favorite Mexican seasonings. I use some taco seasoning, cumin, onion powder, garlic salt, and some paprika for color. Next, I'm going to get the chicken cooked up on my stove. So to a pan, I just added a little bit of oil. I have it set on about medium-high heat. I'm going to cook this on the one side until it is nice and brown, and then I like to flip it and throw a lid on it. I find that adding a lid keeps the chicken nice and juicy, but also helps cook the chicken on the inside. Once the chicken was done, I just removed it to a cutting board and let it set. I will chop the chicken up later. Next, I'm going to work on frying up the taco shells, so we're having like crispy tacos. So I'm just going to fry up some regular corn tortillas and kind of fold them into tacos. I love that you can also control how crispy you want your tacos. Sometimes they do cook quickly, so you might get them too crispy. So I'm just going to do this for all of my taco shells. I like to just batch cook them and then serve the tacos. Once the shells are done, I like to pick them up, drain the excess oil, and then I just throw them on like a drying rack to finish cooling. This is how everything looked when it was done. We just filled the tacos with the chicken, cilantro and onion, and some salsa. The next dinner I'm going to be showing you is an easy dinner. I just made some frozen meatballs with some garlic spaghetti. So I'm just starting off with my frozen meatballs. I just use the Costco ones. They are the ones that I like the best. I just put them on a baking sheet and then I throw them in the oven. That's the easiest way for me to cook them. I'm also going to get our frozen broccoli out and let that thaw. While that is all cooking and the noodles are cooking, I'm just going to work on the sauce. I'm just melting a little bit of butter in a pan. I have this on about medium heat. Once that's melted up, I'm going to add in some minced garlic and some red pepper flakes. So I'm just going to stir that around until the garlic is nice and fragrant and slightly browned. Next, I'm going to add in my broth. So I'm just adding 1 cup of water and 2 teaspoons of bouillon. So this is making it a little bit more like potent. I'm going to add also some Cajun seasoning just for a little bit more flavor and some dried parsley flakes. I have my pan set on about medium low, about 4 or 5. That's just kind of give it a little bit of simmering, but not fully boiling. At this point, you can definitely taste test the sauce. It should taste really good at this point. Next, I'm going to drain the half a box of spaghetti noodles and add them into this sauce. You really want to take your tongs and thoroughly mix this together. The noodles will absorb all that extra liquid, so I spent about 5 minutes mixing this. And of course, I added in some more dried parsley flakes for some color. This is one of my favorite lighter pastas. It actually has so much flavor and tastes so good. The chicken broth really gives it good flavor. Once the pasta was about ready, I just threw in a piece of garlic bread for my husband, and this is ready to serve. This is how everything looked when it was done. Definitely such an easy meal, but has a lot of flavor and is really good. The last dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some homemade fried rice with some chicken pot stickers. I'm going to start out with my fried rice. To a pan with a little bit of oil, I'm going to add in my peas and carrots. I just used some diced frozen green peas and carrots. I like to add a lot. I love peas and carrots in the fried rice. I just have my pan set on medium heat while I'm cooking through these frozen veggies. You just want to make them nice and soft. Ideally for the rice, you'd want to make your white rice ahead of time the day before and let it dry out, but because this is real life, I only made it like an hour before. So once these were basically cooked up and nice and soft, I'm just going to season a little bit with some garlic powder just to give it a little bit of flavor. Next, I'm going to add in my white rice. If I had eggs, I would have used some scrambled eggs in here, but I didn't have any. So I'm just going to shovel all of that rice that I made into this pan. So to my rice, I'm going to add in some garlic powder, sesame oil, and some soy sauce. I do find that the sesame oil might have helped keep the rice not clumped up. Let me know what you put in your fried rice if you make homemade fried rice. I feel like the ingredients I use are pretty standard. At this point, you can taste test your rice like I do all the time. I'm just going to add a little bit more garlic powder and some soy sauce. We like a lot of soy sauce in our rice. And of course, I need to add a little sriracha for some spice. Once the rice was done, it's time to make the pot stickers. This is how I do it. I like to drizzle some oil on the bottom of the pan, coat that, and then add some water, and this just helps steam it, but also gives the pot stickers nice brown crispy bottoms. I like to cook them on about medium heat until all of the water has evaporated. Then you want to be careful because the bottoms will crisp up real quick. This is how everything looked when it was done. So good. And I just drizzled with a little bit more soy sauce. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.